freshly written. Original perspectives on the day's unfolding narratives. See the bigger picture as it emerges. The Papers, weeknights at 10:40 on the BBC News Channel.
Do you think anything has ever been seen quite like this before?
It's been a buzz around town, hasn't it, for 2 or 3 days?
It is a wonderful ground. Such a throwback.
The picture's pretty all right, actually. It's like a work of art all of its own.
We've so far been quite surprised by all the wickets that we've seen.
Sun's out, blue sky, nice day for batting.
Instant cricket from the BBC. Available now on the BBC Sport app and website.
The government steps in to take control of the privately run Birmingham prison after inspectors say it's in crisis. The highly unusual move comes as prisoners and inspectors describe appalling squalor and violence in the jail, with staff asleep or locked in offices.
I've seen people just beaten up in front of staff, just whacked. Organised fights. That happens a lot, organised fights.
It's not out of control yet, but it's not far from it. And the physical conditions there were amongst the worst we've ever seen.
We'll be asking whether other prisons are struggling with similar problems. Also on the programme tonight, the Pope condemns the atrocities of child sex abuse and church cover-ups in an unprecedented letter to more than 1 billion Roman Catholics worldwide. Relatives reunited after 65 years apart. Dozens of North and South Koreans are finally allowed to see each other again, though for just a few hours. The British woman who fell from a cruise ship and survived 10 hours at sea off the Croatian coast is allowed to leave hospital.
Continue, action!
And the actor Idris Elba on his move from on-screen to behind the camera as he directs his first film. Good evening. Birmingham Prison is being taken over by the government from the private firm G4S after inspectors said it had fallen into a state of crisis. The Chief Inspector of Prisons said it was the worst prison he'd ever been to. Conditions were filthy and some inmates were scared to leave their cells. He accused the Ministry of Justice of being asleep at the wheel, saying it should have intervened earlier. Our Midlands correspondent Seema Katecha sent this report from Birmingham.
Thank you.
Idris Elba talking to Adina Campbell. Well, that is almost it from us for tonight. Newsnight is about to begin over on BBC Two in a few moments. Here's Kirsty.
Tonight, a prison out of control, prison officers hiding from inmates, open drug use, violence, squalor. Birmingham jail is back in government hands, but can it ever be turned into a place of civility and rehabilitation? Join me now, BBC Two.
Meanwhile, here on BBC One, it is time for the news where you are. Good night.
Good evening, this is Sports Day. I'm John Watson. These are your Monday night headlines.